Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237. Coming at you with another 80s slasher film. And this time it is probably the definition of what a cult classic is. That is 1982's Madman. People love the shit out of this movie, and I don't blame them. I first saw it years ago, and when I first saw it, I didn't really like it. I was probably expecting it to be gorier or whatever. Seen it a couple times since, just got done rewatching it, and I actually really enjoyed it. I love the simplicity of it. I like horror stories or horror movies that are built around sort of like an urban legend or like a story, kind of like The Burning. But it opens up with a campfire story. And, well, first, it takes place at this a summer camp, much smaller summer camp than, say, The Burning or Sleepaway Camp. And, there's only a handful of kids. Maybe the rest of them's gone home. I don't know, because I guess it's kind of towards the end of the summer. And they're all sitting around a campfire, and they're sort of the head of the camp, named Max, is played by Carl Fredericks, and he tells a story about Madman Marz. And the way he tells the story, he really sells it. Like, I think he did a great job. Kind of the way you would want a sort of spooky story to be told around a campfire. Now, according to the story, Madman Marz was a farmer who, I guess he was just a rotten, mean bastard. Always getting in fights. Part of the story is he even got in a bar fight where he got bit in the nose and didn't even feel it. Which actually, on the back of the cover here, you can kind of see that mark on his nose. You don't really get to see his face very much. But one day, he came home, he had an axe, went into his wife's room, killed her with an axe, then he went into his son's room, then his daughter's room, killed them. Somewhat shows it. Like, they actually kind of show the story, like little glimpses, and I thought that was interesting. Then I guess he goes down to his favorite bar, puts the bloody axe on the table, and orders a beer. When the townspeople figured out what he did, they hanged him. And when they went down the next day, his body was gone, and they never found the body of his family. And his sort of family house kind of went dilapidated. Now that's sort of the urban legend house that you don't go near. And the thing is, you don't ever say his name above a whisper, because he'll hear you. And if he hears you, he'll know where you are, because he could be anywhere, and he'll get you. And of course, one kid mouths off and yells out, "Madman Marz, come and get me, Madman Marz." I don't know if that's the catalyst, or if just he's already out there. I'm going to assume so, because I guess this camp's been going around for quite a while. But anyway, the kid that mouths off, they're going back to camp. He kind of slags behind and goes to the house to look around. And Madman Marz is going around killing people. And that's basically it. He pretty much looks like this. Big guy with long hair, big beard, all white. He's got a big white shirt, coveralls. He's kind of like an ogre. He's all like gray. He's got long fingernails. He's barefoot. It's kind of funny. He always runs around making noises like rawr, rawr, rawr. Like growling noises. I can't make my voice go that deep. Some of the kills happen off screen, like a couple decapitations, but you see the aftermath, and that looks really good. This one chef named Dippy, he's an alcoholic. He gets his throat ripped out. That's probably the best effect in the whole movie. The guy that you think is supposed to be our lead, TP, he gets, Madman Marz puts a noose around him, puts him over a branch, and he tries to get himself pulled up, but he grabs hold of his belt buckle that says TP, pulls him down, snaps his neck. But when a guy cuts him down later and he hits the ground, I mean, he looks like a dead body. They make him all purple and shit. So, and this is, like, this movie's known for its low budget. Incredibly low budget. Even for early 80s standards. And I still think it came out pretty damn good. Like, this is, I'm glad this hasn't been remade yet. And I shouldn't say that too loudly, because then they will remake it. But, you know, there's other deaths, like, one woman gets a axe to the chest. One woman gets slammed under the hood of a truck. Then her head gets found in it. Now, I know I'm forgetting one. But, on top of that, there's also just great atmosphere. Like, there are scenes where a character's walking by and Madman Marz is in the background, like, sort of trotting along or running towards them. There's only a glimpse of music, like a little hoing or something, like a little horror movie shing music. But it's not loud, obnoxious. It's not like new Stephen King's It. Boom, bow, bam, you're scared now. Stuff you kind of got to catch. And there's one scene where one woman, you know, she's walking around, she's turning around looking for someone, and she, like, backs up into him. And it's all quiet. And she's trying to run away, but you see him in the background chasing after her. You know, it's able to build intensity off, you know, just seeing him in the background. But, you know, where it is low budget, there are some mistakes, you know, like, even though the face makeup on Madman Marz, which when you do get to see it, it does look pretty good. He's barefoot and he has, like, these big, like, ogre feet. You can tell they're, like, rubber shoes. There's a part when the female lead is actually Gaylen Ross, who played Fran in Dawn of the Dead. You know, when she's, you know, spoiler alert, I guess. When she's getting dragged around by Madman Marz at his house, there's parts, like, where her screaming and her mouthing screaming doesn't sync up quite well. It does end kind of abruptly. But, you know, also some things happen to her at the very end, which those effects look really great. I don't want to spoil everything. I pretty much already spoiled almost the whole movie. But, I mean, if you're a slasher fan, chances are you've already seen this. I mean, this is like mandatory viewing. I like the song Beware the Madman Marz. I love the look of the opening and closing credits where it's like solid red, then like black, like trees going around in like a circle. And it's just like this artwork kind of lettering. You know, that, like, old school, okay, that's cool. I wish we still had, you know, horror credits like that. But there really isn't too much to say. I mean, DVD-wise, this is the 30th anniversary. It has about an hour-long documentary. It's dedicated to the director Joe Giannone, I'm guessing, and actor Tony Fish Nunziata. He plays TP. But, you know, the deaths, it's sort of like, it's more than Halloween and Chainsaw Massacre, but it's still kind of a minimalist blood and gore, but it is effective. It does look good. It's not gratuitous. Which, that's another thing. I mean, there's sex scenes in this, but they don't show anything. Nothing about this movie is gratuitous. The sexuality or the violence. So it sounds kind of weird to say, but, you know, one about this giant hillbilly killing people out in the woods is probably the classiest slasher film. Because, you know, the gore isn't gratuitous. The sex is not gratuitous at all. You have what you need to get the point of the scene. I love that cover too. But you know, but yeah, Madman is a classic. No denying that. I didn't like it when I first saw it, but now I really do. I see why people love it. I mean, on the documentary, you see like the guys from Dead Pit going over their Madman collections and just, talking about one of the guys from CKY talks about how he wrote songs about Madman. So, this is one of the biggest cult hits of the slasher genre. I'd probably say this and Sleepaway Camp are probably the biggest cult hits. But yeah, I definitely like it way more than I used to when I was younger. I think it's an absolute classic. If you're a slasher fan, you gotta check this out. It's not the goriest or even really have the most kills, but they're plenty sufficient, and the atmosphere makes up for it. Seeing Madman Marz doing stuff in the background, building tension. That is on par with the gore in this. It's like they toned down the gore, brought up the atmosphere. So that is, I think, the best merit that I can give it. So Madman, awesome slasher. Could say underrated, but it's not. It's a huge cult hit. Madman, yes, I would recommend that definitely. So for room 237, that's Madman. Thank you.